guys, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to do the single weave and link stitch. And I went ahead and I did a scarf just to see how much of a chain you would need in order to do one, and I'll share that with you. Also, I want to show that this can also be done with double crochets. It makes a more lacier stitch than the single crochet version, but it's done exactly the same. The only difference is this is double crochet and this is single crochet. And I used 3 different colors for this and 2 for this one, but you can use as many as you want. I did, for the scarf, I did a total of 10 rows using the single crochet. So you can alternate between how many ever colors you want. You can make them each a different color. And the yarn that I used for this kind of scarf was worst weight yarn. It's 4-ply for the US and 10-ply for Australia. And I used 3 colors, and these weren't even full skeins that I used. So you aren't going to use but maybe 1/3 of a scarf, of a color. So if you have a lot of scrap yarn, this is a great scrap yarn project. And this even less, because it's so much thicker, you'll have to do less rows. You definitely won't get 10 rows like this took 10 rows. So if you want to make a lacier scarf, you can use this also scrap yarn project. The stitch can be done using any size hook, but for the scarf I used a 5mm hook, which is a size H for the US. Also, I recommend to get a stitch marker, because you're going to have to do the full chain of, for the scarf I did 261 chains, which is the multiples of this is 8 plus 5. So I did a chain of 256 plus 5, and it gave me 261 stitches. And every 100 chains I would place the marker. And then I would do my next 100 chains and then place the marker. That way, if I lost count, I wouldn't have to go back and count the previous 200 chains just to find out that I needed 20 more chains. So it's very important, get that stitch marker. And of course, a pair of scissors, and that's it. So grab those items and we'll get started. Okay, so first off, go ahead and make your slip knot just a little bit further down. Leave yourself a little bit of tail before you create your slip knot. And then chain in multiples of 8 until you get the length that you want. And then when you're ready to get started, you want to go ahead and add that plus 5 chains and then begin. I chained 45 for this tutorial demonstration. So I just got done with my 45 chains, and now I'm ready to start. So for row 1, you want to single crochet in the 2nd chain from the hook. And then you want to single crochet in the next 3 chains, chains as well. You want 4 single crochets in a row. Once you have your 4 single crochets, you want to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you'll be skipping 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll be starting in this 5th chain. Now keep this in mind, because we're going to be weaving in later on. So in the skip 4 and in the 5th chain here, you're going to start working your next set of 4 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you want to chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then count over. Let me get a little closer. I'm always afraid I'm too far. Sometimes I'm afraid I'm too close. Get some of my yarn here. Okay, so once you have your 4 single crochets, chain 4, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this 5th chain, start your next set of 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you'll want to repeat this for the row. Chain 4, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the next chain start your 4 single crochets. and you should end perfectly with 4 single crochets in the last 4 chains. Okay, once you've ended your row and you have, this is what you're left with, you're going to do another chain of the same length of multiples that you did before you started your single crochets here. So if you did a chain of 45 like I did, which I'm sure you did way more than that, but you'll repeat that again. You'll do another 45 chains, which is what I've done here with my next color. So now I have a chain of 45. So what you want to do is repeat what you did here, which is single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then the next 3 stitches, which will give you your 4 single crochets worked in a row. Then you'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this is where you'll start to weave. You'll get your chain, the end of your chain, and make sure that this is facing the correct way. Once you do this second row, you don't really have to worry about it twisting on you. You just want to poke it through the back and pull it through up to this point where you've just got done with your single crochets. And then you want to count. So I like to pull mine through just a little bit. Find this last stitch that you worked in, and then count over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your 4 skipped stitches. Then you'll put your finger here where your 5th one is, where you're going to start working your next set of single crochets, and insert your hook. Now you can grab up your yarn and start doing your next set of 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're connected. Now you want to do the same thing you did before. You will chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll skip 4. So, but remember, you're skipping 4 only after you insert your chain into the next chain 4 space. So you'll pull that through, and then again I usually pull it up right to where my last stitch worked is, and then I will count. I really wonder if you can see what I'm talking about here. As you can see, this is the last stitch I put something in. So you want to count 4 from that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your 5th chain. You want to insert your hook into your 5th chain. Then you can pick up your yarn again and start your next set of 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you want to chain 4, and then again get your chain, make sure everything is facing the right way. Get the end of your chain and again feed it from the back through, and then count again. This is the stitch that I worked in, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 5th stitch, so I'm going to mark it by putting my hook in there. And again, I'm going to start working my next set of 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then again, chain 4. Feed your chain through and repeat until you get to the end of the row here. And you should end with putting your chain through, skipping 4, and then the last 4 single crochets worked. Then cut your yarn, and I'm going to chain 1, pull up to end my row. Later on, I added fringe to the end here. So that is the same thing you'll be doing again with your next color. You'll grab your next color. Again, you'll chain the exact same amount that you did for these 2. And then you will do your first 4 single crochets. Then chain 4, work the end of your chain from behind into, it will be now through the purple, and then you will skip 4, single crochet 4, and you can do this. Where's that piece? There it is. It's the same thing with the double crochet. The only difference with the double crochet is that you're going to have to add one more. Let me just make sure it's one more here. Yeah. So the only difference, if you want to make this lacy, is the multiples are 8 plus 6. So you just add that plus 6 on the end. And then you just work it the exact same way, except with double crochets. And that is it. That is how you do the single weave and link stitch. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to click that like button, and if you're a first time watcher or you haven't got a chance to subscribe yet, please go ahead and do that now. You can find all the links to social media where I am down in the description box below, plus the link to the pattern with pictures on my site. Thank you so much for watching.